With House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and new recordings that reveal his frustration with former President Donald Trump in the days immediately following the January 6th Capitol attack.
We are now getting more stunning new audio obtained by the New York Times where House Minority Speaker Kevin McCarthy slams former President Trump for his role in the Capitol and the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. Let's listen.
What do these admissions mean for the pending lawsuits and the investigations related to January 6th?
The extent to which the senior-most leaders of the Republican Party blamed then-President Trump for the riot, the insurrection on this Capitol on January 6th.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Kevin the Coward McCarthy earned that nickname over years of being a picture of a spineless political lackey. But he etched that label into his soul forever by his acts of cowardice and personal political aspirations on and after January the 6th. The date of the attempted murder of America by an imbecile con man and his legions of brainwashed losers and suckers that worship on the altar of the Republican Party to their very own destruction.
And this tape captures Kevin McCarthy insisting to his colleagues, his flock, if you will, that President Trump took responsibility for January 6th. Something that President Trump, of course, did not do at the time, and to this day emphatically rejects bearing any responsibility. But McCarthy, feeling the heat, is telling his colleagues, yes, President Trump, somebody who is not known for saying he's sorry, by the way, did in fact, to me, take responsibility. I think that's going to be news to President Trump, wherever he is today.
And people like Kevin McCarthy don't care about the destruction of American democracy, nor does he care about the fates of these brainwashed losers. He just cares that they are suckers that can be manipulated literally any way. His lust for power combined with his cowardice prevent him from ever doing the right thing, to prevent him from ever taking an American action. Kevin McCarthy takes action for Kevin McCarthy and whatever autocrat he can coattail off of if it benefits him.
New evidence from the January 6th committee reveals that the White House was warned before the U.S. Capitol attack there could be violence that day. And Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, pushed forward with the rally anyway.
President Trump, in his own defense, has said, I just wanted a peaceful rally. But there was that phrase that he says was ad-libbed, where he basically told his supporters to go march to the U.S. Capitol. The testimony suggests that might have not been ad-libbed at all, that in fact, that might have been planned to have those supporters walk to the Capitol.
It's been reported that McCarthy was on a furious back-and-forth phone call with Trump during the insurrection, shouting at Mango Mussolini to call off his stormtroopers. Every honest human being could see that day how disgusting those events were, and every honest human being knew who was directly to blame: Donald Trump. And McCarthy knows this too. It's just a matter of what chess piece this coward is going to play so that Kevin McCarthy comes out a winner. Trump lashed back during the call, saying his degenerate cronies care more about the election than Kevin McCarthy does. Again, any honest, unbrainwashed adult recognizes who won the election. A fact proven out in hundreds of courts, hundreds of times, even by Trump-appointed judges who unanimously ruled the election was won by Biden. And this is where we see Kevin the Coward start to cower down to his master. For the events he proclaimed in a speech that Trump bears responsibility, already muting his tone for his honest reactions while the events were happening, but still clinging to a thin glimmer of honesty. This, however, was awfully short-lived, and the convenient malady of political amnesia started to creep in. The coward went to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring of his fascist lord and throw himself down in pleading forgiveness. He's so sorry that for an extremely brief, fleeting instance, he stood for American democracy. And so he pledged his life to king, not country, to do his party's bidding henceforward with never a word of dissent. So today we see him fully complicit in his Republican fascist ploy. He will deny all his own statements regarding January 6th, refuse to testify or cooperate, and of course people like McCarthy conveniently can't recall events or statements that they don't want to have remembered. And he has now committed all of this time in office to politicizing the crimes of January 6th in a desperate effort to save his face, but mostly the face of his orange master. The coward sees his election prospects linked to those of the fascists, and so he must cozy up. And so while there have been many weak political lackeys over the years who succumbed to corporate donors or political strongmen, Kevin the Coward McCarthy is the very picture of the definition. A man who was such a coward he bowed down in surrender to fascism when he could have made a stance for American democracy. How many lives have been lost defending American democracy? We talk about the bravery of those souls, and yet there are people who elect a spineless slug like McCarthy who submits to fascism in the face of the death of American democracy because he fears his next term's election prospects. There is no more disgusting of a picture of cowardice than that. Think about that this November when you have the power to decide who can be Speaker of the House, because there are two choices on the ballot this year: American democracy or an imbecile's autocracy. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.